then there were two as we get ready for our national championship meet here from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So glad you could join us here on ESPN+. Colin Kirkwood and Michaela Soper joining you here once again all weekend long. And Michaela, this is becoming a bit of a rivalry between these two that a lot of people see year in and year out, and they know what to expect.
Definitely. This is actually the 6th time that they're going out there. They have met before many times on this stage. It's going to be a very exciting evening ahead.
And you say they've met plenty of times before. We take a look actually at the regular season. In the meantime, there you can see the path to how these two have gotten to where they are. But this will be the 3rd time this season that these two are getting together.
Yes, so they know what to expect, both of these teams, and I believe the fans do too. We've seen them multiple times already, these Oregon fans. They are here and they are excited. They're energized. I'm seeing some Baylor fans as well feeling the same way.
Let's get acquainted with our first event here as that championship crowd gets rowdy here this evening.
An acro heat, a pyramid heat, a toss heat, and a tumbling heat. These skills for the compulsory event represent the basic skills of the sport of acrobatics and tumbling. In this event, each team will execute the same skills for direct comparison. Each heat begins with a starting value of 10, and the officials will be looking for execution, body positions, and stability of structures.
Again, for those wondering, you saw briefly at the beginning of things just how these two have gotten to where they are. That's Oregon right there, and they started out in the first round against Mary Hardin Baylor in a matchup that they got the win over the Crew, 270 to 252. And then in yesterday's action against Quinnipiac, it was a bit of a tougher affair there, and that one 270 to 263 to get Oregon to where they are in those two victories. And for Baylor, they opened up against Limestone, and that was a win 279 to 246, and then taking down that rowdy Augustana Vikings upstart squad in the nightcap yesterday for Baylor, 279 to 256, as much as that crowd tried to will their Vikings to the national championship. Both of these teams rose to the occasion, and here comes Oregon to kick things off. Things that's going to come to the forefront of everybody's mind here as both of these two going into their 3rd meet in just as many days. What perhaps kind of toll that's going to have on some of these athletes recovery-wise?
So a lot of impact in these back-to-back-to-back days. Again, we've talked about they have been on this championship stage before, but definitely a lot as far as the toll on these athletes going out there and still performing at this elite level each day and keeping it consistent all the way through.
There you can get another look at Oregon, their first time through, just trying to establish the tone here. This, of course, a rematch of the 2023 National Championship, in which Baylor would capture victory as Baylor comes into this looking for their 10th straight national championship. There they are over there. But if Oregon's got anything to say about it, they want to put that streak to rest here and get a national championship for the first time since 2014.
They are definitely hungry. You can see them on the sidelines right now. They're locked in and ready to go. Baylor hoping to go out and answer Oregon's compulsory acro. This is the only event in which teams perform the exact same skills, and these are really considered the building blocks for collegiate acrobatics and tumbling.
Should Oregon find victory here, it would be their 5th overall national championship. Still plenty of time for us between now and then. So get comfortable and get ready for one heck of a matchup between these two. Baylor looks to set the tone here. Brought home a 9.525 in the opening round against Limestone, and yesterday's performance here in this spot was a 9.425.
What a great response from the Baylor Bears to Oregon's compulsory acro.
And in these beginning phases here, starting to build off these things, you might not necessarily realize just how important this could be once we get to the end of things, depending on where the score tally ends up.
So a few things the officials will be watching for is continuity of skills, balance, 3-second holds, strong catches, and strong landings throughout this whole sequence here.
You might be able to tell as Oregon's crowd is getting ready to welcome them back out for their secondary try here this evening. Quite frankly, I think it's an energy that both of these two actually have heard in the press conferences throughout the past 2 days, that the energy in the building has been a building block for some of these squads here, just being able to feed off that. A little bit of a closer trip for some of these Oregon fans compared to a year ago when this event took place on the East Coast, but here in the central part of the United States, maybe the trip not as bad for the Duck faithful. There's a couple right there. Same goes for anyone traveling up from the Waco area as well. And with this 5 panel of judges here this evening, they are going to be on their toes and then some, because it is going to be so difficult here to break these two apart. Keeping the energy up here and establishing things as they go. It's going to be a big-time piece of the puzzle here for this side.
So looking at this replay, again, you want to see that stability, continuity all the way up to the top. No extra movement there from those mid-levels or bases. Those toes a little bit higher than the hips. That's what we're going for. And then those tight catches there. So in compulsory, you're comparing apples to apples, so both teams will start from the exact same start values that is predetermined before these teams go out there and compete. We talk about the building blocks of our sport. Really the primary purpose for compulsory skills and competing those is safety. It allows for safe progression of skill difficulty as we head into these optional rounds of acro, pyramid, toss, and tumbling.
Looks like it's time for the answer from the Baylor Bears. A lot of dueling energy here to kick things off in this championship meet.
Both teams really knowing that every 10th is going to count throughout the entirety of the meet. It's going to come down to the wire. So looking at those same deductions that we had talked about before, as far as avoiding those. Looks like Baylor did a good job there.
Trying to stay in the moment over there for the Oregon Ducks, as the faithful right there are doing all they can to keep this side where they need to be.
Prime example right there of how loud it really is in the arena, trying to even amplify the noise coming from the Oregon Ducks fans.
Compulsory toss here. Great outing in yesterday's win over Quinnipiac for the side, bringing home a 9-8. Let's see if they can build on that right here. I would say I think they're thrilled with that one.
As they should be. So you want to see full extension from the bases here. You see a full extension from the tops, trying to keep their head in as well. If they rush and rock off that toss, it could be an indicator of not being able to hit that peak of the toss. So definitely the one on the left, you could see she had that really high rise all the way through, waiting until the very peak of the toss to tuck. Then you want to see that nice tight open body position on the second half in that kick out, allowing for that full extension to come back into the cradle on the catch.
Both of these teams really having a solid outing yesterday. This portion here, when you take a look at Baylor's score from the meet against the Vikings yesterday, bringing home a 9-9 in their toss to kick things off a day ago. Not much more room to be perfect, but if there's a side that can find a way to do it, it would happen to be this side, as they've had multiple perfect runs in a couple of areas across the first 2 days of competition.
A little bit of a back and forth here between Bears fans and the Duck fans. Baylor will come out and try and do their compulsory toss just a little bit better than the Ducks, and we'll see if they're able to capitalize on that.
Strictly business with that run right there. get another look once again.
You'll see that same rise we just talked about with Oregon, actually out of the shot there. So as far as seeing that full extension, definitely waiting all the way until the peak to hit that tuck body position.
One more time here in the first as Oregon is up next. And we talked about this. Yeah, you get a look at it up top there this time, but as we talked about here as we close out event number 1 in this 4th heat here, you'll see some of these scores take a little bit of a dip compared to beginning 3. I mean, there's so many moving parts that go into this.
We'll talk about our officials as well. You know, they are the trained eye. They are looking for very particular things. Some of the things that we talked about before with the continuity, balance, 3-second holds, strong catches, all of those things, they're trained to watch for those things. And so we have a 5-person officiating panel this evening and all the way through the weekend. So great to see that consistency throughout, and knowing if there are any corrections that need to be made, these teams have the ability to do it heading into this championship matchup. Seemingly pleased with that. So again, these compulsory skills are basic skills of the sport. They'll perform 3 standing tumbling skills here. First, that tuck, and then a toe touch back tuck. Heading into a back handspring back tuck. Focused on good form, feet together, big set, straight arms on the floor. And then a 1 running tumbling portion to this, the round off back handspring back layout to finish it off. Looking for stuck landings, that's pretty much the difficulty when it comes to these basic sequences, is you are trying to stick every single one of those landings with your chest up, otherwise you will have deductions as far as extra movement upon landing, extra steps, and all of those tenths, as we talked about, with 8 athletes out there on the floor, those will add up, and those will be tallied up obviously at the end of this event.
The reigning champions looking to take the mat here and close out event number 1. We'll see what they've got in store for us. Just getting a couple words in over there, and ready for the go-ahead as it's arrived. I'm seeing a lot of confidence on the faces there, and just being in the moment as they walk their way off as we close out 1.
again, the difficulty here is really trying to synchronize all 8 athletes. That's a lot of bodies out there to be able to do these skills as pristine as they are, making sure that the basics are in order. They are hitting all of the technicalities that come with this. And also some fun that's always added in there too. It's good to see each team and their flair that they get to go and really just put their spin on everything.
All right, fans, while we await the combined results of this event and our updated youth standings.
So you'll see a few that aren't stuck there, but again, minor deductions. Those little tenths will add up, but as far as rounding out the compulsory event, really strong performances from both of these teams.
But we are through one. Stick around here as we step aside. More championship action coming up right here on ESPN+.
The second event is the Acro event. This marks the beginning of the optional portion of the meet. Each team will compete with skills previously chosen with different possible start values. There will be between 2 and 4 athletes in a group on the floor in each of the 3 heats. Heat 1 has 5 elements, Heat 2 has 6 elements, and Heat 3 has 7 elements. The start value is determined by the difficulty and combination of each skill. In addition, each position must be held for 3 seconds. This event demonstrates power, strength, and balance.
There you can see, sporting that sign there is yes, Baylor looking for 10 in a row. As the scores are starting to trickle in from our first event. There's Oregon. They wait to kick us off here. After their performance, we'll get a chance to look at where we stand through one. Well, they'll sneak it in right now. As you can see, Baylor in front right now, 37-5 to 36-4-5. Maybe just a little bit of jitters, perhaps, for the Ducks as they started things off. Might not have been in the spot where they were hoping to be, but still plenty of time to make that up. Right there looks like a recipe to jump right back into things.
Great job on their 5-element acro here. So you see this one-to-one extended hand-in-hand, which is a difficult skill in itself, and then the Ducks decide to add that extra body position in there. Going right into this knee to split. A new addition for the sport this year was adding these skill sets in, and I think was a great decision to do so. Looks like utilizing those skill sets has really paid off, not just for the Oregon Ducks, but Baylor is also probably going to perform that in a very short amount of time, something very similar.
Yeah, utilizing those skill sets, and when somebody sees a clip of that for the first time, that's definitely something that draws your attention, and just like that, you find yourself hooked to the sport in general.
For sure. There's a lot of athleticism that goes into what these young women are doing out here. Truly incredible, and coming from so many different backgrounds, such as artistic gymnastics, competitive cheerleading, acrobatic gymnastics, power tumbling. It's really a home for a lot of athletes here with the sport of acrobatics and tumbling.
Pay attention here as Baylor's been stellar to kick off Event 2, putting in a 10.0 in the first round and a 9.95 yesterday.
Five booms for 5-element acro for the Baylor Bears there.
Get another glimpse into this one here.
And so she'll go up into that one-to-one extended hand-in-hand position again, hitting that handstand, but this time she'll press up there. And then hitting that body position at the top. Each position does have to be held for 3 seconds, so if you're watching at home or even in the arena looking for those 3-second holds, you can count it out loud just to make sure that they're hitting that, not getting lack of hold in each one of those positions. And then each one of these acro heats does have a 45-second time limit that the athletes have to perform all 5, 6, or 7 elements within those time restraints. A little bit harder to perform 7 element in that amount of time just because there are more elements in there. So watching around, if you have a clock, I don't think it's up on the screen here, but definitely double checking for yourself whether or not they're there and hitting those skills in those 45 seconds.
The 6 element coming up for Oregon. There they are. And let's see what they've got in store.
A lot of excitement running off the mat there for the Ducks. You'll see this replay here. 6 element acro is the only acro heat that is synchronized. So it adds a little bit of a layer of difficulty for these athletes to go out there, utilize the depth in the roster, and choose to play to certain skill sets that they have to get that 10.0 start value. You'll see this one-to-one connection, so one base to one top, which adds that difficulty here to get to that 10.0. And on this right side, that gave her a little bit of trouble, number 23 the other day, and that was a really great recovery as far as making sure that that hit today, as this is a very important meet. Again, they really cleaned that up. I think that's probably one of the best ones I saw for the past 2 days. Again, up to the officials on what they're seeing. They have that trained eye, and so those deductions matter that are coming from that table, but great job for the Oregon Ducks.
Baylor waiting for their 6 element go-ahead.
So matching Oregon's 10.0 start value. Here come the Baylor Bears.
Little signature flair on the way off on that one.
Great great job also hitting those one-to-one combinations as far as one base to one top. And we talk about that adding the difficulty to this start value and the overall start value of the team in general. Now each one of these heats does have to have an inverted element. So you'll see Baylor here, they choose to do this extended hand-in-hand one-to-one as their inverted element to hit that requirement.
On the way here shortly, Oregon to close out event number 2 on their side of things. Had a stellar mark in the opening round, putting up a 9.75. Let's see what they've got in the tank here for this run. And don't forget, if you're enjoying what you've been watching so far, more action tomorrow, as we'll have event finals kicking off at 10 a.m. Central. There's some teams from around the country making their way in to show their best in event finals tomorrow. Here they come. With about 2 seconds to spare there, wrapping that one up.
So you'll see Bethany Glick here, number 5. Going up into that inversion here. This is kind of a staple for them as far as this combination between base to top. You'll see number 10, Isabella Swarthout, going down into that knee to split position here, holding all of those body positions for 3 seconds. Great job. And then again, this is that 7-element acro we talked about as far as trying to get all of those skills in within that 45-second time limit. We do a great job of this here, holding for that 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Great job from the Ducks.
One more try coming up from the Baylor side of things. We'll see what they've got in store. Yesterday's run bringing home a 10. What will today's run have in store? We're going to find out right now.
There's a lot of confidence already going out there. Excited to highlight and showcase these skills they've been working on.
ask for much more than that for that group as they make their way off.
Watching that replay here, the amount of strength that it takes to perform this skill and this whole sequence in general.
Quite frankly, just numerous areas of strength as well. Being able to have the core strength to make this work, the upper body strength, of course, to balance yourself when you have somebody on both hands like that.
And truly just working together as well. You know, it's hard to have that chemistry with another person just like they do, and to be able to compete it like that. Again, we talk about being out here on the national stage. There's a level of pressure that comes along with that, and a level of excellence that can be difficult to uphold, and Baylor just does it consistently every year.
And we are through 2. Stick around, we'll have scores when we come back after the break right here on ESPN+.
The third event is the pyramid event. The pyramid event will be the final event in the first half. In the pyramid event, athletes will build 3 layers in a structure. The start value of each heat is determined by the difficulty and the combination of the entry, structure, and dismount. The pyramid event has 3 different heats with different requirements for each heat. Heat 1 must be an inversion, Heat 2 must be synchronized, and Heat 3 is an open heat. 2 key things the officials will be looking out for are the position of the top and the stability of the structure.
And a look there at some Baylor fans enjoying the action here this afternoon. Another look here at scores trickling in from event number 2. We'll check them out again here after Oregon kicks off event number 3. Rolling right on along here.
Heading out for the inversion pyramid here. Requirement is to go upside down, so hitting that inverted body position at the top. So you'll see number 5, Bethany Glick here.
They have been taking care of business here in event 3 to kick themselves off, have Oregon. Numerous 9-8s on the score sheet from both prior rounds. And you know, I'll say there's such a thing as a broadcast curse, perhaps. Don't want to look too much into that, but either way, another addition here from Oregon. Maybe if we break this one down a little bit more, we'll see what might have contributed to that. Not sure, maybe just rushed a bit, perhaps, or...
Good recovery from that combination of Isabella Swarthout and Bethany Glick.
There again, you can see where we stand through 2, about a 2-point lead for Baylor at this point in time, but some solid marks there on both sides. A couple of 9-9s to go around.
Definitely still within striking distance.
That is the look of a side that is ready to take care of business again once they get the go-ahead. There it is. They've got it.
All right, fans, we move along in the inversion heat of the third event. And next up with a start value of 10.00, welcome up, Baylor!
mention the fact that they have been clicking on all cylinders in that portion here. Their first round kickoff of that, bringing home some rather high regards, as you can see. A lot of skill on display.
So this entry here is quite difficult, and then you add that one arm body position at the top. That adds that difficulty to get to the 10.
And I think we actually might have had a little bit of a change mathematically here. Did want to mention the running total now 66,825. That stays the same for Baylor, but now a bit of a highlighted change. We're looking at 65,475 for the Oregon side. We'll look into that a little bit later during the halftime and see if we can get the story behind that. But either way, let's keep everybody in the loop at home.
And so there are opportunities to put in inquiries from head coaches, just in case a score may seem a little too low or too high, just depending on what comes back. And so could be a part of that, or also could just be a calculation error.
There's Oregon as they'll be ready to roll out here once again as their first half slowly starting to come to a close.
So going out into this next heat is the synchronized pyramid heat. So each different event, acro, pyramid, and toss, do have a synchronized component to it. So the second heat in each one of those events will be a synchronized heat.
And up first with a start value of 10.00. Welcome again, Ducks of Oregon.
One's got some folks jumping out of their seats over that.
Great energy from the coaching staff there too. You could tell they were very pleased with that.
Get another glimpse at this one. Nice touch to see some of these other competing teams in the background there enjoying, and still front and center, if you will.
You'll see these coaches utilizing different skill sets just prior, recruiting, depending on what those backgrounds are from these athletes coming in. Could be that competitive cheerleading aspect as far as that hand-to-foot connection on those press extensions there, or maybe some acrobatic gymnastics backgrounds, and that's where those inversions really come in handy as far as which different skill sets they plan to utilize in these rounds of play here.
It's almost Baylor's turn here once again as we are ripping right through this first half. And to be frank, that's what happens when you've got the best two teams in the country in front of you here. It sometimes can get difficult to find anything wrong with what's going on out there.
Definitely ranked the number 1 and number 2 seed for a reason here.
All right, Bears, we move along with the synchronized pyramid heat. With a start value of 10.00, welcome again, the Bears of Baylor.
Here comes Baylor. Very well done. It's one I'm sure they're happy with.
Absolutely a smooth transition. And then straight up, and really looks effortless there as far as locking out at that top. And then a really clean dismount as well. If you're new to the sport of acrobatics and tumbling, or maybe this is the first time you're hearing about it, really began in 2009 by a group of coaches that were really interested in creating a new pathway for athletes training in specific skill sets that come from gymnastics disciplines. And so it's creating more opportunities across the country for young women to compete in college athletics. It's a very exciting and an emerging sport as well. So if interested, definitely checking out the NCATA.org website.
A lot of great stuff over there.
Definitely.
Gotta say, one of my favorite things about the website is being able to see on a map where all the programs are in the country.
47 competing this past year.
And more on the way. That'll do it for the first half for Oregon.
This has been a strong performance for them for the past few meets. I believe scoring a 10 at one point during the season. So as far as what they just put out there, especially here at the national championship.
Yesterday was about as close as it gets with a 9.95.
Absolutely. So hopefully trying to get as close to that 10 as possible.
That was 2 days ago, and yesterday's was a 9.825. But either way, still firing at a high level here.
Definitely.
As they'll look to pick up some points here, but not a whole lot to make up. They're in a great place to be.
Got a lot of cool artistry on some of these athletes
Yeah,
here
I've really
right now.
noticed that. They've put in a lot of effort to create some custom looks here for
I think
today.
that may be Coach Felicia Mulkey.
Actually looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, on her neck there. So they're tatted up, it looks like, and Sharpie. And
there's both right there. You can
Yes.
judge for yourself.
yes.
We have reached the halfway point in this championship meet. Everyone's involved over there. Have another look here again. We find ourselves at the halfway point of action here between Oregon and Baylor. More coming up throughout the half, so stick around as we get ready to crown a national champion after this break here on ESPN+. Welcome back here, folks. Mat side, halfway through the national championship meet between Oregon and Baylor. And the head coach of the Bears, Felicia Mulkey, stopping by. And Felicia, real simple, we're halfway there. What's it going to take?
we've got to stay consistent. If we can do what we did yesterday consistently, do that again today, we should be okay. I'd like some higher scores and tosses today. If we can get that, and tumbling, as always, synced on their feet. That's what I want.
Anything else really that you're just working on for the past 2 days, or anything at all?
We need to be consistent in team event. I think get through those next two events, and then consistency in team event. And we've been working on consistency for the past 3 weeks.
Well, go out there and get them. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have more action coming up. Stay tuned here on ESPN+. Welcome back here, folks, at the halftime mark, and a great guest joining me here at Matt's side. It is Christy Kiefer, a two-time NCATA Coach of the Year with Fairmont State University. And Christy, it's always great when I have time to chat with you.
Yes, it is. I'm looking forward to it.
So let's talk about this weekend here in general and just seeing the opportunities that have been happening for young women out there and all the great things that are coming from this sport. Just talk about that as well as your impact in helping to put this all together.
Yes, being one of the original, they call OGs
Sure.
of the sport, it's just seeing over the past 15 years how it has evolved and grown, and how many females are empowered by it. And you know, we just see the level to continue to grow and improve, and I think that's what's probably most exciting about it. You know, we have so many people that are engaged with the sport, and you know what has done to help to empower so many females.
And let's talk a little bit about here in plenty of the national championship weekends that you've been a part of. What, if you could think, what would be your greatest memory that you've had to this point in time throughout the entirety?
Oh my gosh, that's a difficult question. Can I start with today?
Of course, why not?
Okay, absolutely. It's just so much fun to come and just to experience this with everyone, with all the different teams. You meet so many individuals, you find so many people that are engaged in so many different activities. As I look at different skills that are going
Sure.
on, it continues to evolve, and it doesn't become stagnant. You know, it's great. Like now this year, you know, we see a lot of flexibility that's been incorporated, you know, which what some people refer to as acro, and you know, we see a lot of from the tops and the bases. You know, we see bases that are doing splits that have hand in hands with the tops.
How great is that?
Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
It's been
I mean,
fantastic.
so I'm excited to see what we come up with next year.
But lots of action coming up here soon. But Christy, as always, thank you for your time. We appreciate
Yes,
it.
thank you.
So we'll step aside. When we come back, we'll get ready to hear from the head coach of the Ducks and much more. Stay tuned here on ESPN+. And welcome back here, folks. Moments away from the start of the second half in this one. Baylor and Oregon in the national championship, if you're just joining us here. But Taylor Susanara joining me here, Matt's side. And Taylor, thank you for the time.
Thank you so much.
So let's talk about it here. The third time you're seeing this side here. What's it going to take in the second half to get in front of this one?
Yeah, I think it's going to take minimal mistakes and really high execution from both teams, and keeping the really high energy. And the arena right now is a little bit crazy, so we've been trying to keep our tunnel vision into the second half.
But anything else you're really looking to clean up here or get ready for the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I would really love to execute all the rest of second half, but I think in tumbling event is going to be where we can really elevate and kind of close the gap, and team event as well.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, as always.
Thank you.
We'll step aside when we come back. Action will kick off in the second half. Stay tuned. It's coming, I promise, here on ESPN+.
The fourth event is the toss event. In the toss event, you will see 4 athletes toss a teammate into the air. The teammate tossed into the air, known as a top, will execute a flip or twist before being caught. There are 3 heats in this event. The synchronized toss features 2 toss groups. These groups should look exactly alike and be in sync. The start value of the toss depends on the skills that the top executes in the air. Officials will be looking for height, the top's body position, and tight catches by the bases.
A great look here. You can see where we stand through 3 as Baylor continues to cling to that lead, 96-94. And some dueling efforts between these two, and not out of anything by any means here. Still plenty of chances to make up that small gap.
Yes, and honestly, keeping it really close there in pyramids as well. Fans coming back quite rowdy after that little break. Small intermission for halftime. They're ready to go.
There is Oregon as they will kick us off here in event number 4. Really important for them to come out here and nail it right off the rip and get themselves where they need to be mentally. I would think that they should be pleased with that.
Definitely, and that is a Arabian toss. Difficult skill to master as far as making sure that it is technically correct and performed and executed pretty seamlessly there.
We'll see the answer coming up from the Baylor side there. It's a group that continues to really embrace the mantra that we had discussed they established for themselves in the opening round. And coming into this national championship weekend, Felicia Mulkey said to me, we want to approach this like a well-oiled machine, and they continue to go out there seamlessly and make every single appearance matter and take advantage of it.
Get a quick glance at head coach Felicia Mulkey right there. Never lost, actually. She has been the head coach at Baylor for quite some time, but has won all 13 NCATA national championships since the sport's first postseason championship in the 2011 season. Little karate action from their bench there with a hi-ya as she kicks into that back double there.
Bonus points for that reenaction there. You put a lot into that one, so well done. Very well done indeed. They might have to call you over there to help out with the next couple. But you can see there's another look at that as they seem to be firing again on all cylinders. That's what great teams do. There's what we have through three. If you just happen to be joining us here, bit of a small lead for Baylor.
Heading into that synchronized heat of tosses coming up here.
Yeah, great spot for Oregon to look to break through a little bit on the score column here, putting up identical marks of 9-3-7-5 in both runs so far in this weekend's action. So just trying to find a spot where they can make up extra ground here perhaps, and this could be it.
Definitely.
All right, fans, we're on to heat 2 of the toss event. This is the synchronized toss. And up first with a start value of 9.90. Welcome out again, Oregon!
We'll know here shortly if they find a way to do so. But there you can see right behind them what both of these two are out there competing for. There's that trophy hanging out. It's at the best seat in the house all weekend long. And it's going to have a seat on a plane as to where it's headed. We'll know soon.
Keeping up with those high start values here for Oregon and Baylor all the way through this toss event. So you'll see Oregon going out there performing a synchronized back layout double twist. Start value of a 9.9 there.
There it is. You can get a great look at it once again. That trophy headed somewhere here. As to where, getting closer to finding out where it'll be. Eugene, Oregon, or Waco, Texas.
Another good look at head coach Felicia Mulkey right there. Again, taking all 13 NCATA national championships. Actually won 4 titles while coaching at Oregon, and then 9 as the head coach of the Bears.
They just need their go-ahead here. Waiting for the thumbs up. Look at that, there it is. It is that time again. Great addition there in that run.
Tosses always seem to fly by. Goes very quick with these skills here, so last heat here before we finish out the toss event.
This crowd doing all they can to keep Oregon in this one. Not out of it yet by any means, but boy, they are supporting their side and then some. Love the creativity. We've seen a lot of great signs this weekend, and I'm sure we'll see some more coming up tomorrow for event finals, where we will see some members of both of these teams competing in action.
We have multiple teams that are here actually in the arena for the first time this weekend, coming out and competing in that event final meet at the end of this championship. So Sunday there will be event finals, and multiple teams that were not the top 8 qualifiers for the national championship will still have a chance to go out there and compete for certain event titles this year.
Plenty of states represented tomorrow. California, Pennsylvania, West Virginia again, Hawaii, South Carolina, Florida, and more. Hanging around right where they need to be.
So performing a kickback double, which is what we saw Baylor actually start their toss event out with. So what you want to see here is you want to see a nice 45-degree angle when kicking. And then squeezing her body all the way around to that nice tight cradle catch too. Starting from a 10.0 there in tosses, which is actually very difficult to do. Tosses are one of the hardest to get to that 10.0 start value. Tumbling is also another one where it can be very difficult to hit 10.0s in all of the tumbling heats that go out there and compete. Baylor actually does achieve that. They have 10.0s in every single one of their tumbling passes that they'll go out and compete, and same with Oregon, in fact. The only thing that separates these two, they'll start from about 2/10 difference on this whole entire meet here.
A lot of towels and cutouts and all sorts of things. Here's the open now from Baylor.
Great way to finish the toss event there. You see when you watch the replay, Watching her hips as they come back through, you'll see a nice set here, full extension, and then her hips actually are square back to the wall where she started before she pulls into that cradle. So really great toss for the Baylor Bears.
We find ourselves through 4. Stick around after this break as we get ready for event number 5, and we'll look into where we can get a pair of those in the meantime. Stick around here on ESPN+.
The 5th event is the tumbling event. This event has 6 heats. The first tier are synchronized group tumbling passes, a duo, trio, and quad tumbling pass. The last 3 are individual tumbling passes. The start value of each heat are determined by the difficulty and combination of skills in each heat. Officials will be looking for body position, continuity of skills, and technique in each skill.
Synchronized teams, Oregon with the score of 9.
Scores starting to make their way in from event number 4. We'll have them in their entirety for you shortly. We'll see perhaps maybe if a lead will grow or maybe a lead will shrink. Heading into event number 5.
Baylor with a score of 9.600. Event total, Oregon with a score of 28.450. Baylor with a score of 28.850. And your updated meet total score, Oregon 123.175. Baylor 125.225.
And that's where we are through 4 now as Baylor hangs on to that lead, 125-123.
Staying neck and neck all the way through, and I think we'll see the same thing with tumbling here. It's definitely a strong suit for Oregon, and so we'll see a duo pass here starting from a 10.0. They had some really great tumbling all the way through this weekend so far. Hopefully, again, we've talked about them going back to back to back. It's definitely a lot for these athletes, and long days trying to stay locked in and being able to find the energy to find their feet right now.
That duo looking to improve off their 9.45 a day ago in Morgan Willingham and Rachel Furlong. And this is going to be a great chance for them to find a way to build out of that small deficit. Have another look here.
A little bit of timing there when their feet came down into that full, but definitely a lot of excitement. I'm telling you, this crowd is rowdy, and then looking over on Baylor's sideline right now, there's a whole dance going on. They are locked in and giving each other as much energy as possible going into this tumbling event.
Trying to bring the energy for Aaliyah Thomas and Gigi Rendino. They did find themselves a little bit of improvement from their first run and their second run yesterday. Their first run bringing home a 9-1, and then yesterday's run in the semifinals bringing a 9-1-2-5. And that's the kind of numbers that when it comes to this point in time, if you can find any kind of improvement, it helps.
Something important to point out. You'll see some little ones in the stands across the entire arena right now. Some youth acrobatics and tumbling athletes that were here for their championship, coming in to support these college athletes, knowing that one day they could be out there and competing too. So it's exciting to see them go out there and see this type of championship, knowing that they could go out there too.
Another duo for Baylor.
see a round off whip Arabian, round off back handspring 1.5. Want to see a nice controlled step there. They are allowed to step, so as long as the coach on their start value file designates the fact that they do have a declared step, they are allowed to take that. Just no extra movement. You want to stall that momentum at the very end and have that controlled step in order to not receive any additional deductions.
Trio coming up here for the Ducks. There you can see where we are again through 4. If you just happen to be joining us here for the tail end of this championship meet, this is a rematch of the 2023 National Championship between these two, which Baylor would capture victory, but the trio waiting for Oregon over there on the right side. That's Bria Alvarado, number 25, Alexis Giardina, number 29, and Haley Ellis, number 41. Down the row, freshman and double senior combo.
You can see coaches really hyping them up, knowing that they have to stay locked in.
Another look here again.
Round off whip, 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 back handspring 1.5. Very difficult pass to synchronize as far as those whip backs. You want to make sure that your feet are hitting the floor at the precise time that your partners or teammates out there are doing as well. It's hard to use your peripherals when you're upside down, flipping and moving your body at that speed. So really good job to the Oregon Ducks for making sure that was as synchronized as possible. And then again, we always talk about landing on your feet, finding your feet at the end of the pass, and knowing that you've landed it and did enough for your teammates.
Now we turn our attention to the trio from Waco. That is Emily Bott, number 7, Sophia Nalon, number 35, and Nova Schmidt, number 36. Left to right on your screen. Sophomore and 2 juniors on the right side. They're looking to clean things up a little bit from their run yesterday that brought home an 8.775 and get themselves back to that standard of excellence that I'm sure they have for themselves. As their initial run when we kicked off action brought in a 9.075. I would think an addition like that is definitely one to be happy with.
Definitely cleaned up from, I would say, days prior. We'll see what the officials say about it, but as far as the timing goes, one of those passes, as we talked about with Oregon's, this is a tough one to time up as well, and so you could see one of the athletes, number 36 there, I believe, she was asking right as they landed, was it on time? So definitely a really important part to that pass to make sure that they look like one body across the floor. It's really easy to get off sync there. So great job from the Baylor Bears.
Adding one more to the party now as we get ready for the quad portion. It'll be Oregon's edition coming up. That is Riley Watson, number 17, Shay Barnes, number 31, Raquel Henderson, number 4, and Carly Garcia, number 36. the selected group for this run coming up.
So this is the last synchronized part of the tumbling event. So you have the duo, trio, quad, and then individual passes after that. And student athletes can compete in both the individual passes and the synchronized passes, but they cannot compete twice in a synchronized or individual round.
All right, we move forward. The final heat of the synchronized passes is upon us. This is the quad pass heat. And up first with a start value of 10.00 for Oregon. Number 17, Riley Watson. Number 31, Shea Barnes. Number 4,
A lot of locked-in faces here, knowing that these runs are crucial.
Another difficult one to sync up there with that whip Arabian. Take a look at the replay here. Really good start, round off whip Arabian. Little off on timing there, but caught back up. And we are just gonna shout out again, all athletes on their feet.
One more quad coming up as we flip our attention to Baylor. Looks like that's our group right there. Last second talk through here. And in that group there you can see number 9, that's Peyton Washington. Aaliyah Kalusti at number 54, Sarah Kerr, number 1, and Gabby Kaminsky, number 3. And could you tell that they find themselves in the biggest moment of the season? You couldn't see it on the faces right there. Looks like a lot of fun. And that right there, now that's a hat. Talk about something that I gotta find a way to get one of, right there.
All right, fans, we are moving on. Next up, the quad pass with a start value of 10.00 for the Bears. Number 9, Peyton Washington. Number 54, Aaliyah Kalusti. Number 1, Sarah Kerr. And number 3, Gabby Kaminsky.
Here we go.
Off on timing, that third one in. But as far as that pass, again, 10.0 start value, difficult to do. Great execution there, and then just a little bit of timing, but overall their chest is up. The continuity throughout the whole pass was really good. It's important to note these tumbling passes they're doing. These are elite level skills. Again, the difficulty of a 10.0, but they're not performed on a spring surface. So athletes coming from maybe all-star cheerleading or artistic gymnastics, we do not tumble on a spring floor. So these athletes are generating this power solely by their strength. So really incredible to watch these athletes perform such at a high level.
We will now see Bria Alvarado, number 25, the freshman for this Oregon side. She will once again get the call here out of Coppell, Texas. Coming out of Texas Dreams Gymnastics from 2019 to 2023. And you look at the results that she has brought into this point in time. First round 9.775, and the identical number in yesterday's action as well. There she is in the middle of your screen there.
Knocked it out of the park there. You can see that celebration at the end.
Have another look here at this one.
3 whips into this 1.5, controlling that landing. Again, you don't want to see extra momentum when the athlete finishes that final skill. She does a great job of having good body awareness and really knowing where her chest is and where she needs to land as far as landing on the mat and then controlling that step. True freshman as well, and that's a
Big
incredible
moment.
feat to have, yes, here on the national stage.
And over on the other side, it's an upperclassman for Baylor in Aaliyah Thomas, number 20. There she is. The Pennsylvania native and the junior for the Bears getting ready. Part of a 2014 that brought in plenty of accolades. She was a 6-element acro champion for NCATA last year. Has a mix of competitive cheer as well as acro background. Practiced acro in Easton, Pennsylvania for the PA native out of Moosic, PA. Another look here again.
Round off whip Arabian, round off back handspring 1.5. A lot of power out of that one, but again, staying on the floor, great job.
Results of 9-6 and 9-7 in her first 2 runs. Switching back over, changing gears again for Oregon now. There you can see on your screen where we stand through 4. So we're closing in on the end of this one, towards the tail end of event number 5. It's Riley Watson getting the call, the senior number 17. The Round Rock, Texas native looks to keep things moving for this Oregon side. Picked up an individual event national title in quad tumbling last year. And coming out of Acrotech Gymnastics.
Number 17, Riley Watson.
Able to hang on there towards the end.
Nicely done. Watching this replay here, you see the height she gets, whip, and then the hip rise on that Arabian. Great job, really controlled that almost out of bounds step, but was able to stay on the floor.
On the other side now for Baylor, looks like it'll be Emily Bott, the sophomore. There she is, number 7, out of East Slip, New York. Pair of NCATA Specialist of the Week awards a year ago. A couple of cheer accolades with Long Island Cheer Diamonds. A 9.775 yesterday for Emily. How about that? A little bit of flair at the end as well.
And some crowd surfing. Really trying to find as much power as they possibly can right now to make sure that they are landing on their feet. So some of those lack of control landings could be just really trying to put everything into it to make sure that they don't under-rotate.
Last up for Oregon in event number 5, it's Morgan Willingham, number 30. Making her way to Oregon from Douglasville, Georgia, the freshman. Working in Stingray All-Stars. Competition cheer for Alexander High School. Very athletic background here. State champion in all-around floor bars and beam. And also ran track in high school. Douglas County Championship runner-up. Let's see what she's got here.
Had a great pass yesterday, so we'll see how she closes out the tumbling event.
For reference, yesterday's run was a 9.775.
Another freshman as well, so incredible to see how their careers are going to take off after just this year. I mean, this is a great way to start out with a 10.0 pass, and beautiful execution here. Knew exactly where she was all the way until the finish.
Now to close out event number 5, a true all-star, if you will, for this Baylor side in Peyton Washington. There she is, number 9 on your screen, the sophomore from Round Rock, Texas. The list of accolades from last season: All-American NCATA Division I Freshman of the Year. Down the list, 5-element champion, 450 salto champion, and open tumbling champion, as well as numerous Freshmen of the Week. She'll look to close things out for Baylor on the right foot here.
Next up, the start value of 10.00 for the Bears of Baylor. Number 9, Peyton Washington.
Yesterday's action, a 9.975. Look at the confidence there coming off after that walk.
She knows exactly where she's at in the air. You can tell she goes for that 1.5. She opens up and stalls entirely to gain momentum into that round off full. Big part of this is watching where her hips are. That huge rise through the pass. You want to make sure that your hips are pretty much in a line every single time that they rise into one of those salto skills. That front tuck, you want to see a rise. Round off handspring 1.5, you want to see a rise. And then in that full to finish it off.
We are through 5. We'll have scores after the break and get ready to crown a national champion after the team event right here on ESPN+.
The sixth event is the team event. This event encompasses everything you just watched in the first 5 events. The team event features up to 24 athletes on the floor at one time, performing skills in acro, toss, pyramid, and tumbling in a routine set to music. Key items for officials to evaluate include synchronization of skills, stability of the structures, body position, and technique of the tumbling. This is a very fast-paced event, so be sure to keep your eyes on the mat.
The scores trickling in from event number 5 as we get ready for the grand finale in this one. And I'm getting the feeling that it's going to come down to the wire here.
In the 6 element team, Oregon with a score of 9.725.
We'll have the scores for you once they make their way out into the arena here. You can see just where we are.
And finally, in the open heat, Oregon with a score of 7.5. And Baylor with a score of 9.925.
You can see Baylor rather pleased with their results.
Oregon with 56.550. Baylor with 56.600. Your updated meet total score: Oregon 179.725.
Boy, is it close.
Baylor 181.825.
Have a look here now as we can see 181 to 179 as this can truly be won off of this team event right here. It is time for Oregon to wrap it up. Looking to improve a bit. Yesterday's mark was a 95.3. That is 90.53. And their opening team event was a 91.03. You can see that start value there, 109.23. Let's see what they do here. Up here early in this one, but you can see a lot of concentration out there.
Putting their acro sequence here. There's synchronized acro in the back.
Great feature there.
Great fight there. Going right into this cross tumbling. Keep an eye out corner to corner. Some synchronized passes as well, trying to find their feet. Difficult acro.
Roof here.
Very difficult acros in the back. Pushing all the way through. Oh, 1, oh, 2 on there. That's okay though, it's not over yet. Great tosses there. Little change there in the middle for their standing tumbling sequence. Great job there.
Heading into the final stretch now. Gotta have it.
left.
Well, then there you have it. This postseason run for Oregon coming to a close. Truly looking to leave it all out there in that last performance. Where we stand through 5, anything is truly possible right now.
Let's welcome out some athletes from USA.
A few minor mishaps as well. You did see 2 athletes in the front 2 corners. They did have their feet scoop out from under them, so weren't able to completely land and hit that team event.
We'll take a look here again and see maybe if anything sticks out in particular as we look back on that performance. That there at the end, and a lot of flair to close it out. More coming up here. Now maybe we'll see something perhaps.
That athlete did a really good job of continuing her momentum there. It's a really difficult acro sequences in the back. Tosses were super clean. A little bit of a low catch on the one side there. You can see she kind of dips down. You could tell standing tumbling changes were actually made. They had some troubles hitting their standing tumbling sequence throughout this weekend, but a great adjustment from the head coach to make sure that they hit their standing tumbling passes. So kudos to them for making that adjustment, being smart about it.
There's that ending once again. But we will take a break, and when we come back, we will have Baylor and their team events. Stay tuned for more coming up as we are close to a national champion being crowned here on ESPN+. Numerous youth groups out there entertaining this championship crowd and doing a great job at that. How fun to see the stars of tomorrow getting a chance to get out there and get a taste of things today.
So good to see all the different teams out there as well. It's not always just about competing, but it's about the bigger picture. You know, all of these athletes working for a common goal right now to spread the word of the sport of acrobatics and tumbling, and this opportunity exists.
Baylor waiting to go out there and give it their all and see if this team event will secure their 10th straight national championship. And as you can see, realistically, this team event for both of these sides is going to be what it comes down to, where we sit now.
The crowd's very excited for those youth groups right there. A sport created for women, by women.
We look at the values for Baylor through their first 2 team events. In opening round competition in the win over Limestone, bringing home a 97-4-7. And then in yesterday's action against Augustana, bringing a 97-1-5. Their start value being a 109-4-5. But looking to get back to the ways of the initial run from the weekend. It looks like it's time to find out. It is now that time. There's that start value for today's action, 109.43. It's fluctuated a bit. It was 109.45 yesterday. And here we go.
to standing tumbling here.
So much concentration out there right now. But don't be mistaken, there's fun over there, like you can see on the left side.
Great synchronization there in those tosses. Cutting into these cross tumbling sequences. Little mishap there in the front corner. Going into their acros here.
And they know they've got to deliver here.
Absolutely. Hitting their inversions. No mercy on Jordan's legs there. Back to tumbling here. Everyone on their feet, pushing through.
Coming down to the wire here. Are going to have quite a decision to make here following these two performances. As that right there, a great indicator of the success that they have had for so long. Let's have another look. See just perhaps where these judges might be narrowing in on. Getting that final moment in there and just talking together as a team. But now let's see if anything sticks out here in these replays.
So you did see one athlete didn't go all the way through to her pass. I think we just missed it on that replay there. Steps out into, I believe it was a back tuck. So did not do as declared on that SV file. And the reason we know is because that was synchronized, and so could be a significant deduction there, but again, Oregon did have those two falls too, so looking back, neither had that perfect routine.
Look there at the end. And we'll take one more quick break. When we come back, we'll be able to find out who our national champion is. Stay tuned here on ESPN+. It is just about that time. Two fan bases eagerly awaiting the result. And who it'll be. Will it be Oregon, capturing one for the first time since 2014? Or will the streak continue and extend to 10 in a row for Baylor? That's where we are through 5, for those who are wondering.
Yes, 2 points up for Baylor, so with those small mistakes in there, we'll see if it's enough to gain an additional 2 points there to even close that gap.
The bracket has made its way out to the mat, and we are just about ready. What a wait for these two. My goodness. Can't imagine what's going through the mind of anybody over there right now, on either side. It's something that you've worked for since the first day that practice has started, to be right here, right now. Let's listen in and find out who it'll be.
Congratulations to all of the competitors today. Here are those scores. In the team event with a start value of 109.23, Oregon scores 86.630. And with a start value of 109.43, Baylor scores a 94.90.
And there will be another banner going up in Waco, Texas, as the Bears capture their 10th straight national championship. And that's a moment I'm sure they've been looking forward to all weekend long. These fans, this team, and it is quite a record here to see unfolding in front of us.
Definitely. And some of these athletes, seniors as well, so you can see emotion on both sides, but just depending on what they're feeling right now, could be the last time going out there and competing. And so, you know, kudos to those athletes and really thinking about those seniors right now as they wrap up this season, making an impact for so many generations to come competing in this sport. So thank you for your contributions.
There's that trophy over there, so it'll be headed to Waco once again. But who would have thought in 2015 that that would be the start of a streak like this? And another moment they've been waiting so long for.
Acrobatics and Tumbling National Championship trophy to the Baylor.
And, you know, I think it's fair to this point in time to consider tossing around the word dynasty.
Oh, absolutely.
Congratulations to the Baylor Bears, champions once again of the NCATA.
Making history.
But if you've had fun this weekend, we're not done yet. We still got event finals coming up tomorrow. Like we said, you'll see plenty of other programs represented that you might not have seen throughout the first 3 days of the weekend. But memories being made for a lifetime out there for these athletes. 2025 national champions, 10 in a row for the squad from Waco. But
huge congratulations to them.
yeah, it's been fantastic so far, but like we said, more action coming up, of course. We'll have event finals coming up 10 a.m. Central tomorrow, so make sure you come back and join us for that action in the meantime. But 10 in a row, how do we put a bow on this one?
You know, it's an incredible feat. Congratulations to Baylor, their coaching staff, and everybody involved. It's wonderful.
It's been a whole lot of fun to bring you weekend action, and like we said, make sure you come back and join us again, as I'm not sure if we'll get a chance to speak with Felicia Mulkey, but the championship t-shirts are finding their way out into the crowd, and the friends and family starting to pour down from the stands, and it's truly a sight to behold right now. as you can see that championship merchandise making its way through. Any final thoughts here as we watch this championship celebration unfold?
Really, it's just great to see this sport evolve. You know, we've seen so many new skills that have been competed this season and competed at such a high level. So just congratulations to all of the teams that have competed. You know, everyone is working for that trophy, but only one winner at the end of the day.
So glad you could join us here as we will let the Baylor Bears celebrate another victory for their program. It has been a fantastic weekend for them, but don't forget, we are not wrapped up with the action yet, as we will have more coming for you tomorrow with event finals. But for my analyst, Michaela Soper, I am Colin Kirkwood saying so long from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where the Baylor Bears are 10-time in a row national champions. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. It's the Elman Center. It's been taken over. It's been the hotbed for activity here in the NCATA. But of course tomorrow, we mentioned a few times already here that the event finals are coming up, and we mentioned that you'll see a couple of other programs that haven't been represented here this weekend to this point in time.
Yeah, you'll see St. Leo University. They'll be out here. They are a school located in Florida. Lander University, a part of the Conference Carolinas. They will also be here representing their university. Hawaii Pacific all the way out